Γιατί δεν φοβάμαι τίποτα, δεν ελπίζω τίποτα, είμαι ελεύθερη και δεν έχω προκατάληψεις από το πριν.
Cyprus faces a range of environmental challenges. 79% of coastal seabed around Cyprus is destructed due to bottom trawling. Affects tremendously on the environment in Cyprus. And the focus is done on economical figures rather than on protection of the environment.
Ακριβώς, Χρήστο, μόλις έχει περάσει, πάει για να καταθέσει την υποψηφιότητά της η κυρία Khovrina-Komninos.
Take a lead. We have to take a lead as ordinary people.
What is your final message to world before it's too late? Nicolaos, Ioulia, hello. Thank you so much for being with us today, and we will discuss very important topics together. How are you?
Thank you for having us a chance to meet you again, especially myself. And, very pleased to be with you. You are actually our ambassador, if you like.
It's my pleasure.
Of Wales.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Nicolaos, since last time we spoke, what changes we have? Where are we now?
Well, about 35 years ago, in July 1989, I was a G7 meeting in Paris, and half of the meeting they spent discussing environmental issues. Was the most powerful people back in the day, François Mitterrand and all others, I think Margaret Thatcher or something.
Oh.
And they didn't manage to make a difference. With power, with money, with all everything. They were discussing protection of oceans. They were discussing global warmings. So when you ask me what I managed to do since February, actually since March.
Yes.
2 months, 3 months. I'm proud to say that I have managed, and my friends have managed to stop killing of whales in Iceland. And we are talking about at least 200-300 whales. And I think it is a big issue.
It is.
So we continue to fight for our civilization to survive, because the ignorance of the people and the disability of the people in power to make a change brought us to a point that we will run out of oxygen and we will have excess of carbon dioxide within, say, 10 years from now. So basically, we will not have enough air to breathe. And that's a very disturbing, but on the other hand, the complete ignorance of the governments to make a definite change empowers us as a people, as a society, take a lead. We have to take a lead as ordinary people. No time to wait for governments to do something for us. They had 35 years, 36 I would say, and nothing happened.
But since last time we spoke for Wales and you mentioned how important is Wales, what is the situation? It's worse or better?
Well, I think it's becoming worse because whales refuse to reproduce. Their production rate is still the same, no matter big nations stopped killing whales some years ago, but they're still using sonars. And even here in Cyprus, I would say that people are ignorant and they think there are no whales in Cyprus, but science came to Cyprus in 2017 and 2016, and they documented a lot of cachalots, which is a sperm whale, a huge whale, just off the coast of Napa and Limassol. But in the same time, they have registered a huge activity of military sonars, which are basically big sounds. So when you ask me about the situation, I'm saying to you that, as you can see in the Middle East, a lot of military activity is going on. It equals to the active use of mid-frequency sonars, very powerful military instruments, which are basically killing whales. So nothing changed. Most of the planet is still ignorant. I would say uneducated. This is one of our mission, to educate the audience.
Yes.
But the situation is going from bad to worse. And in particular, I would mention Faroe Islands, which, despite my letter to the Prime Minister of Faroe, they continue to kill pilot whales at huge scales by lots of hundreds, pregnant females just about to give birth. Just a few days ago, they brutally killed them in front of the audience, in front of the local people. And we have to be there, and we have to educate and make a good documentary movie to show to everybody what is going on. And unfortunately, a lot of people still believe that whales are fish.
Yes, many they think it's...
And for these people, I just want to mention the recent studies. You asked me what happened since February. Joe Romani, a marine biologist, he published a very important scientific report, which I will mention later. But before him, the report came out from Canada, discussing sperm whales' life and social activity, which are cachalots in French. And it was amazing to understand that these creatures, these mammals, are living in huge social groups of 20,000 whales. They speak the same language. These 20,000 groups are divided into small species of 30s, and then they divide to a more smaller group of 10s. And these groups, by the way, are mostly female. And this female group, they educate their kids, their cults, as we call it, and they resemble the life of the human society. Tell me the difference. They breed their kids, they educate their kids for life.
A tiny tail. This ocean voyager is about to become a mom. Humpback births are so rarely witnessed. No one's ever been this close. Her pursuers seem to have had a change of heart. They've become her protectors. The lead male blows bubbles, forming a screen. That allows this cautious mother a moment shared only between her and the deep. Then, something magical. A newborn calf. A boy. He can't breathe underwater, so Mom gives him a gentle nudge towards the surface to take their first breath together. There's almost nothing to eat here for humpbacks. So he'll have to learn to live life on the move, fast.
They speak their own language, which is acoustic sounds.
Yes.
So it is not a fish.
Unfortunately, many people think that it's just a big fish. And unfortunately, many people don't believe there is a whales in Cyprus. And I don't know if it's any possibility to tell them where they are exactly.
There is a good news since February. We came to an agreement to have a station of our charity, of our NGO in Cyprus, permanent station. We will bring a ship. We will have a chance for the people to go for whale watching.
That's great.
Themselves. And eventually we will open a sanctuary, in the area where we will feed the whales. It's our know-how, how we're going to do it. So whales will come back and we will interact with them. And it's coming. And of course, we need help and assistance and support from your audience and the people. But all the agreements are in place.
That's a very good news.
Εδώ με την υποψήφια για την Προεδρία της Δημοκρατίας, την κυρία Ioulia Khovrina-Komninos. Καλό μεσημέρι.
Καλό μεσημέρι.
Καλώς ορίσατε.
Καλώς σας βρίσκαμε.
Γιατί διεκδικείτε την ψήφο του κυπριακού λαού?
Deus vult. Θέλω να συμβάλλω προσωπικά στην κοινωνία και στην εξέλιξη της Κύπρου. Έχω γνώσεις, έχω όρομα, έχω πρόγραμμα, μεγάλο πρόγραμμα, πώς κατά την γνώμη μου η Κύπρος πρέπει να εξελίσσει. Να συζητήσουμε το πρόβλημα, το ζήτημα της αγγλικής βάσης στην Κύπρο.
Θα θέσετε και θέμα αγγλικών βάσεων.
Βάσεων. Είναι δεύτερο σημείο στο πρόγραμμα μας. Και τώρα θα σχολιάσω στα αγγλικά για όλους τους Αγγλέζους να καταλαβαίνουν τι θέλω να πω. Βλέπετε. English Parliament. Mr. Kelly, I quote. This is very important.
Εντάξει, να είναι σύντομο γιατί να μην χρειαστεί να κάνουμε και μετάφραση. Ελάτε, ναι, παρακαλώ.
Ναι. Ask the Minister of Defense if we will give an assurance that no nuclear bases will be established in Cyprus without the full approval of the Cypriot government. Απάντηση. For some years, we have based in Cyprus, in support of Central Command, bomber aircrafts which are capable of delivering nuclear weapons. The aircrafts are deployed in one of the sovereign base areas, and no question of seeking approval of Cyprus government arises. Τώρα, In 2019, a small tiny island of Mauritius or Mauritius
Ναι, ναι.
got decision from International Court of Justice. I have here original and I want to quote.
Όχι, πείτε μας την ουσία, μην το διαβάσετε. Πείτε μας το βασικό.
Ουσία
Ναι, ναι.
ότι σε μία λέξη.
Ναι.
United Kingdom has an obligation to bring to an end the administration of the Chagos Archipelago as rapidly as possible. Αυτή πρόταση θέλω για την Κύπρος.
Μάλιστα.
Αντίθετα πρέπει να πληρώνουν γιατί χρησιμοποιούν την γη μας.
Οικονομία, υγεία και τα υπόλοιπα την επόμενη φορά. Οικονομία, τι εισηγείστε για την οικονομία και τα προβλήματα που αντιμετωπίζουν οι πολίτες τα καθημερινά στο κομμάτι της οικονομίας, κυρία Κομνηνού.
Επιδιώκουμε την επιστροφή της Κυπριακής Λίρας.
Επιστροφή της Κυπριακής Λίρας, μάλιστα. Ναι.
Η υγεία του λαού είναι η υγεία των παιδιών. Αρχίζει από αυτό τον περίοδο. Και εμείς θέλουμε μίνιμουμ 6 μήνες άδεια μητρότητας, πληρωμένη άδεια μητρότητας για τους μητέρες.
Τι λέτε στους πολίτες?
Γιατί δεν φοβάμαι τίποτα, δεν ελπίζω τίποτα, είμαι ελεύθερη και δεν έχω προκατάληψεις από το πριν.
Ioulia, as a leader yourself, how do you see the link between politics and protecting nature? Do you think governments are doing enough to stop this crisis?
Of course, the governments are responsible, and not enough has been done in this direction. So the legal framework was set up, and Cyprus, as a state, is a part of legal agreements. Some of them, if we look at the history, so there is a very bright scope what the government can do. For example, Convention in Bern, 1979, Convention on Conservation of European Wildlife and Natural Habitat. Special Convention for Mediterranean Sea, Barcelona Convention, 1995. Latest conference about that issue was in December 2023. UN Convention on the Law of the Sea, 2008. EU adopted Marine Strategy Framework Directive for member states to maintain ecosystem with 11 descriptors, which is like a framework for the governments to interact. 10th of October 2023, Conference Enterprise Europe Network. Convention on Biological Diversity. So, and there are proposals on this issue which are not fulfilled. So, and Cyprus state has obligation as a part of all these conventions to take measures to protect the environment around Cyprus. But however, we understood that if in 2020 the priority was the health, now the priority is defense.
Yes.
So, and the environment is outside the scope of measures which are taken now on broad scale. So, Cyprus faces a range of environmental challenges. So, this is biodiversity loss, pollution, change of climate, water restrictions. So, and on this way, there were certain researches done, from which we see that 79% of coastal seabed around Cyprus is destructed due to bottom trawling. And we know that apart from them, there was a research by the Peace Research Institute in Oslo, which conducted that also Cyprus problem and division of the island has serious impact on ecological situation in Cyprus. For example, first of all, there is no coordination between both sides to protect the environment Second, it's very, very difficult to make follow-up and to have statistics, correct statistics, which will be understandable by both sides.
Yes.
Third, it's also the different approach to environment on both sides. So in this particular issue, I want to focus, first of all, on biodiversity loss. So the urbanization of the island, development of tourism affects tremendously on the environment in Cyprus. So, and the focus is done on economical figures rather than on protection of the environment. I was, as a leader of political party personal, attending a few conferences. So the one was 2 years ago in Nicosia. It was focused on protection of environment with the scope of developing economically of the country and all the resources. So they were discussed many ways, and funds were given, and everything sounds so clever and good.
Yes.
But if you look at the results, we don't see the results. So if you see the coast, you will see a lot of rubbish there. No one takes care. If you see underwater, you can see the same picture. So, and here I want also to mention, as soon as there is such a chance, thank you very much for giving it, to talk to the public and to address this issue to the public. Water problem. We are talking now about the water so much, but in fact, there is no cooperation between both sides, even on this issue. In the buffer zone in Leather Palace, under the spice of United Nations, there was a talk between two, let's say, specialists of both communities, where it was discovered that all the problems which we have here in Cyprus, in Republic of Cyprus, can be easily solved if there is a cooperation with the northern part. Because here we have desalination plants which use, by the way, old type of technology which damage the environment. When on the north Cyprus, there is no problem with the water because there is a pipe from Turkey which delivers unlimited quantities of water from the continent. So desalination in the south part, according to Oslo research, which I mentioned before, shows that there is disbalance between the salt content in the water in the north coast of the island as it is, and in the south. Politically, we can divide the island, but geopolitically, it has problems, and geologically, tremendous effects on the environment. In addition to that, the division of Cyprus created an area which is completely dead due to erosion. So all the area of buffer zone used to be agricultural lands. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, after 50 years of preservation, the erosion is so hard that it hardly can be recovered. In Southern Cyprus, Republic of Cyprus we live now, only 25% of agricultural land, according to statistics, is used according to its purpose. So what does it mean? That means, again, this balance in environments, which affects us in all the spheres of our life. Our political party, on the 25th of May 2025, sent a letter to the governments and to the President of the Republic, where we explain all the drawbacks of the old technology which is used in desalination plants, and we propose the new technology which will not damage the environment, but we didn't get an answer. Like to many other letters which we sent, so the government neglects the problem. Mm-hmm. Yes, never answers. And in my understanding personally, the democracy should not be like that. To summarize this topic, I want to say that ideally, if it is so difficult to find a political solution between both parts of Cyprus, at least environmental should be found, and people should cooperate, and people should support dialogue, because the island cannot be divided with knife like we do it when we are eating beef steaks. So the island is one ecosystem which, with political power and power of everyone who is living on this island, should be maintained and should be preserved for future generations.
But what is your opinion? Why these powerful people, why government ignore this crisis and they don't try to do anything about this? Why there is no answers?
Because it focuses on other things, like, for example, tourist developments, urbanization, which means economical growth in figures, so selling of the land, which gives also economical growth. And number one in agenda now, taking geopolitical risks in the region, it's defense.
And what we can do about this, like Cypriots, people who live in Cyprus, what we can do finally, that government can see the fact that we are in serious crisis now regarding environment.
We should raise our voices and make public awareness. For example, what I suggest to the audience is to share our dialogue, which we have today, so that awareness of people is created and ignorance is stopped.
Yes.
So people should first realize that there is such a problem. Second, should understand that there is way out, and the measures which we propose, and not only we, but the scientists who are thinking not politically, but like scientists, knowing the story. So this initiative should be supported, should be spread between people. And we are ready to answer to whatever question is from the audience through the dialogue on our website of the political party. And we are waiting for supporting our initiatives.
Yes.
So especially for cleaning the beaches, initiatives for attracting the attention of the government of new technologies, not 20 years old, but new technologies, sustainable technologies which can be implemented here.
Yes.
And of course, it's very important that we act together in the manner that I suggest people letting us know that they are ready to help, so that we can create working groups, we can create commons or groups of people with initiatives and send it with signatures to the government once again, and we can talk. And on internet, we have a YouTube channel.
Yes.
Where we welcome everybody to comment and to
ask any questions.
Yes, ask any questions through our website.
And yes,
I'd like to add that we have elections in 2028 for a new president of Cyprus, and Ioulia, she was running for the presidency in 2023.
Ακριβώς, Χρήστο, μόλις έχει περάσει, πάει για να καταθέσει την υποψηφιότητά της η κυρία Khovrina-Komninos. Να πούμε ότι έχει ιδρύσει το νεοσυσταθές κόμμα Ενωμένου Ρεπουμπλικανικού Κόμματος Κύπρου και στηρίζεται από την πλειοψηφία των Ρώσων που κατοικούν στην Κύπρο.
And this is how the whale story started. I will explain to you a little bit. But I invite people to go and vote for Ulia, but it is not enough. The second point, the second term is that make sure we have our observers in the Ministry of Interior who counts votes.
yes.
This is very important. So we have a transparent elections. So just let me divert the discussion a little bit into 2023, when Ulia was running first time since Alexander I, who was known as a Tsar of Tsar. He was he was ruling the Europe back in the day.
Yes.
There was a Holy Alliance and peace in Europe back in the day. So Ulia went into politics with the same motto, peace, and moratorium for arms race, etc., etc. So I think big powers were not very happy to have in the Middle East a leader who wants peace. So the elections were on the 5th of February, and 2 days ago, 2 days before, a huge Navy armada of the US Navy left Athens
Yes.
towards Cyprus. When I say huge Navy armada, I'm talking about USS aircraft carrier George W. Bush, and he was surrounded by 5-6 frigates.
Okay.
And they reached the area on about on the 6th or on the 8th. They were in Cyprus, and they employed the same mid-frequency sonars. And because of the conditions of the sea, they killed lots of whales, and at least 11 of them were stranded in Paphos and Latch area. When I mean stranded, is that normally whales die at sea. You don't see them, but because there was a storm, these whales will wash the shore in Paphos or Latch, etc., etc. So some people came to me and said, "Look, this is the situation, etc., etc." I made my investigation, and I'm convinced that they were killed by the sonars and of course embargoism, etc. But the question is what the foreign military power is doing during democratic elections.
Yes.
Do they want to show to the local politicians who count votes in Nicosia that no, we need our own guy here?
Mhm.
So people must be prepared for the election in 2028, and we must have transparent elections, and
Of
a leader
course.
who will put environmental agenda at priority. So that was a story how we came to protect whales, because initially our NGO was about to save life at sea, people at sea. Now we realize that it's equally important to save sea and whales as the top mammals in the ecosystem.
And as a couple, how you fight with this mission? I'm sure many people will discredit what you do. Many people will criticize what you do. How you fight emotionally together regarding this mission?
We're like single organism. We add value to each other. We studied together in university, and we have professions. Nikolai is a lawyer, I'm an economist originally, our first degrees, and these are two, let's say, lines which coexist.
Yes.
So we support each other on every absolutely points. And resistance which we face give us more strength and more inspiration.
I would add that yes, we do have cashing out or censorship. This is we don't have open resistance. The protection of whales has 99% of support of the whole world, but we do have censorship, because we need to reach out to the people, and all the means of communications are not in our hands. Companies are spending millions to promote their products.
Yes.
We have no millions, but our mission is more important than selling a piece of drinks or something, or a piece of wine. And we believe that because we have 100% support of the population in general, we'll find a way so the people like you reach out to an ordinary people who will realize that this is the important issue. And I don't care who is censoring or what. I care that there are people who are putting this on agenda and doing something about it. So we're not scared, we work together, we support each other, and we have a great mission to accomplish.
So how many years you are together?
More than 30.
Nicolaos, industries and governments still ignore the warning. Why do you think powerful people refuse to act even though they know the oceans and humanity are in danger?
Okay, last time I raised the theory about carbon civilization. It's quite complicated, but legally speaking, there is a special agreement, we call it Washington Consensus, which was actually an agreement between major governments for liberalization. It was reached in the same year of 1989, 35 years ago. So basically what happened, and Cyprus was and still is part of Washington Consensus. The idea was to liberalize. So let's do business what they want to do. Privatize everything, like Limassol Port and other places. And basically, what happened, the economy downsized. Important industries like agriculture downsized. Ioulia mentioned, Cyprus, only 25% of agricultural land is cultivated. But more seriously, the governments lost competence. So the center of competence runs in the multinational companies now. They have power, knowledge, money, and everything. The governments, the ministers, mostly are sitting ducks. They are low educated people, salary is low. Sometimes
They don't care.
They don't care. They immense in corruption stories, etc. At worst, some of them are good, but they have no funds. So I give you an example. You asked me what we did in February of this year, and in May we sent a letter to the Ministry of Fisheries in Cyprus to complete a road accident report, if you like. This is basically a report about the whales killed or stranded in 2023. Must be completed under the US law, which is quite advanced in terms of protection of whales, despite all the activities of the Navy. And we received no reply. So eventually we will complete this report ourselves based on the result produced by the NGO from the north of Cyprus,
Yes.
which in fact did autopsy of the whales who were killed, and they found that the whales were killed not because of earthquake in Turkey, which
Yeah.
is a ridiculous statement, but because of embolism or accidental fast ascent when the blood boils and they die because of that. So
Nicolaos, I'm sorry to interrupt you. It's possible the whales to die because of earthquake.
no, it is not possible. There is no record in the history of the earth that earthquakes affected whales.
Yeah, it was interesting for me to know, and many people.
So we are left in the situation of sailing alone in the sea. There is no government which will take care of these issues for different reasons. And one of the reasons is this Washington Consensus, which is basically, unfortunately, it's not only about downsizing economies and liberalization, it's because it's about reduction of the population. Be honest, many politicians believes that the world population must be reduced from 5-6 billion to 1 billion to sustain
Yes.
the development. I disagree, but they still support very violent policies like defense. It's about killing people, and nobody supports initiatives, or nobody wants to support initiatives to restore the balance and the ecosystem. So it's a kind of dangerous policies, and the people should wake up and take initiatives in their own hands.
The same question I asked Ioulia, but how we can do to government to pay attention. Ioulia answer what people can do, like citizens. What we can do that government finally to start answer the letters.
Well, the simple answer is that we are still far away from cryptocurrency. Many of our readers have money in their accounts, and they're in their disposal. They can use this money to support, let's say, establishment of our center in Cyprus.
Yeah.
It's not millions, it's maybe 100,000 euro only. So this is the most effective way, because I was lecturing in France for cryptocurrencies as a lawyer for several years, and I know when the central bank will issue so-called cryptocurrencies, then you won't be able to spend this money the way you like at all. So take a chance while we have maybe 2, 3, 5 years. We are at liberty to spend our money and spend them on a good course. This is my best advice. Or if you don't have money but you have an energy, you join us as the crew member, as ambassador of the foundation, or spread the news. And believe me, we are talking about serious issues. And my opinion is that the sea is weaponized, because behind the question there are questions of the other people who say, oh, people are dying here and there, why we should care about the whales? But some dark forces are using sea as a weapon against us. That's why I mentioned Ulia, because she was against sending arms to the armed conflict areas. You need to stop the war. Now we are against using ocean as a weapon. But that's what the great forces are doing, cautiously or negligently. Mr. Trump, he canceled whale protection orders by Biden, because Biden, he say, we need to limit the speed of the vessels. It's the most effective way not to kill the whales. And Trump said, no, I don't care about this. Judge Rogers, the chief judge of the Supreme Court of the United States, he canceled a few decisions by the California judges prohibiting navies to use sonars. Why? Because he thinks, oh, it's a fish. We are scared about Chinese submarines and everything like that. So we have uneducated people at the top level. There are no, legally speaking, more important person than Judge Rogers. He is the head of the Supreme Court of the United States.
So he think the whale is fish.
He thinks the whale is fish. He's not saying it openly.
Wow.
He used some legal tricks, but that's the point. So same with the cryptocurrency. The judges, they don't understand the importance of the free money. And they believe that if you hold cryptocurrency, you are a gangster or a crook. So we have to educate judges, presidents, and I invite you to make a seminar. Bring 2, 3 presidents in here, and we will educate them about whales.
So with the one word, it's mean we trust our lives to some uneducated people, which even don't know that a whale is not a fish.
Exactly.
That's a tragedy.
That's a tragedy, a great tragedy, because Aristotle, he knew what the whales was, and he knew it was not a fish.
Yeah.
Aristotle.
Of course, yes, of course.
But
Yeah. Ioulia, do you personally support Nicolaos' mission with your whole heart? What does this cause mean to you as a woman, as a mother, and global citizen?
Fully support, and I'm very proud of Nicolaos to be so much involved in wealth protection and environmental protection, because it means a lot to everybody. And I support him personally. I went last summer to Iceland, so I was on the board of the ship during the mission.
Yes.
So I saw with my own eyes whales in the area, and it made me very big impression. So we, like women, first of all, we support life. This is our mission.
It's true.
To bring new life to the world and to support life in principle.
Όταν έρχομαι σε αυτές τις συναντήσεις τις μηνιαίες, με βοήθησαν γιατί αναθεώρησα μερικές απόψεις. Συναντώ συμπατριώτες από 17, ίσως 18 τώρα, ελληνοκυπριακά και τουρκοκυπριακά κόμματα, οι οποίοι πάρα πολλές φορές είναι θετικοί και μπορούν να δουν το μέλλον και να σκέφτονται σε αυτό που λέμε λογικά. Και όταν κάποιος παρεκτραπεί, κάποιοι λένε, δεν μπορώ να πω πολλά γιατί είναι το διπλωματικό πρωτόκολλο, λένε Γιάννη, Χριστάκη, Μεχμέτ, νομίζω υπερβάλλεις. Και έτσι με βοήθησε. Ευχαριστώ το Ενωμένο Ρεπουμπλικανικό Κόμμα.
Ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ, Γιώργο. Και εγώ δεν έχω προκατάληψεις από το πριν και βλέπω ότι μπορούμε να δούμε μαζί και μπορούμε να έχουμε επίλυση του κάποιες δυσκολίες που υπάρχουν ανάμεσα στις δύο κοινοτήτες, και βλέπω ότι υπάρχει αυτό το κίνητρο και υπάρχει βούληση από των κοινωνικών πολίτων,
Κοινωνία των πολιτών,
ναι, να ζούμε όλοι μαζί στην ειρήνη και να έχουμε το μέλλον για τα παιδιά μας χωρίς καθόλου σύγκρουσης, καθόλου παρακατανόησης, σαν ένα λαό.
σαν ένας λαός.
So
Yes.
when you see life in all its beauty around us, you cannot imagine that it can be killed one day. So you want to prolong its existence, you want to do as much as possible and to contribute to all what is alive. And as mother, I think it's very important to educate our children within the brackets of the family or outside, insist in schools to create environmental lessons.
Very important.
And to support ecological education responsibility of young kids, because what we put into child when we bring up our kids, that's the future citizen of the country. So, and if we teach love, if we teach life, and if we teach beauty of the existence, the child will support it and will transfer it to his children. And this is a process how it should be, in my understanding. On the contrary, will create death, killing, and ignorance. I support very much movement in Switzerland when parents send their children to help NGOs, to help during holidays which they have, which whatever job is needed without asking. I support very much when families send their children to help and to be educated on board of ships to see how life outside the coast is developing. And this changes people, it changes both parents and it changes both kids. Attitude towards environment is different.
This is very important.
This is very important. Here, the NGOs and, for example, even the center which we are trying to create in Cyprus will welcome any child, boys or girls, and during the experience on the ships, in our case, we can create responsible citizens in the future. And this will also affect politics. Because here, if we look at the statistics of the elections, many people didn't want to vote, didn't want to appear in the elections. And here I want to make a call on new Cypriots or wives or husbands or those who are naturalized and who have Cypriot passports, but as far as I understood, don't want and even don't have attention to register in ekologiko katalogo in the system of elections to be able to vote. So,
which is very important.
Which is very important because
your future.
This is the future of yourself and this is the future of your family and your children. And if you look at the figures, for example, 50% plus one person comes to voting polls for the first round. So they do elect someone. From this, let's say, people, that means that someone who is elected, he has to be 50 plus one voice from 50% of population. That means only 25% of the population, in effect, elects someone. And this we can, for example, control in schools on the first level, as Nicolaos mentioned before. But on the final stage, when the final decision for calculation is made, no observers are allowed. So, but what is very much important for people who have Cypriot passports, who were not born in Cyprus, to feel the responsibility towards the country who gave him this opportunity to be a citizen here and to be active. Not to think that nothing can be changed. It can be changed. So, and this is the choice of either you're active and you can change something, or you're passive, you just flow with the stream.
Yes.
I would like to add the baby boomers now giving their businesses to their kids. So, in plain words, the industrialists, rich people, to gain their capital during 70s and 80s. It's now time to give back this business to their kids. But the kids are not well prepared. That's what Ulia mentioned, that big banks are throwing seminars and educating wealthy clients that they should send their kids to NGO to see what is the right way to use their capital. It's not only making money. And the second point, consensus is very important. In family, we have a consensus. We drive in one direction on a consensus basis. In politics of many countries, there is no such a thing as consensus. In Cyprus, the current president was elected by about 16% of the voters. 16, 1-6. 1-6. And we made it public that he cannot, he doesn't have mandate to resolve big issues which will affect everybody, because people, they didn't give a voice on that. In Switzerland it's different. You have referendum, and our political party was the only one who raised the issue of referendum in Cyprus several times. And the mass media didn't censor us. They published our view about referendum, about electricity, some important issues, connections and everything. But Wales are also operating on consensus, which I mentioned from the beginning. This parent Wales or Cashelaws have big communities of 20,000 or 30 or 10s. And for instance, before they turn from one area to another, they spend about an hour to discuss where we go.
That's so
And this is
amazing.
fish. So in some areas they're more advanced than us. They have two brains. So one brain is always active, the other is sleeping, and vice versa. So this is another civilization, and if you will give me a chance later, I will explain some scientific background of how the system works in plain English.
Yes.
Yes.
I just want to add what Nicolaos said, because one can ask, what did you do on your family level yourself? And I can say that although we could avoid it, our children were brought up with understanding what is the environment. When they were little, I was personally head of maritime business here in Cyprus with my own ship. And children were always involved in activities connected to the vessel and how to take care of the vessel without hurting the environment. So several times we see turtles around the ship, dolphins, and they understand that first of all, money it's absolutely separate from, let's say,
you cannot
human civilization
nature,
nature. And I think we did it good. We did it good way, because nowadays, if our kids who are already grown up have a chance to help to philanthropic NGOs, they always do it. And they always think about environments, they always support, and what is most important, they educate themselves. And they want to understand deeper and deeper the reasons, the roots of certain events, and how they can help the environment.
Which I believe must be in any schools.
Should
This
be
kind
on
of
the level
subject
of
to
every family.
teach,
Yes, every family should take initiative. Yes, and show these important issues, especially nowadays, I think, because we have access to knowledge. Before it was more difficult, more complicated, because libraries and absence of internet put a little bit limits. But nowadays, when we have access
you have so
to
much knowledge,
only desire should be. The rest is just technical issues.
After the last conversation with Nicolaos, I had many comments that everywhere it's war, people are dying, poverty. Why you care so much for whales? And I would like, Nicolaos, if you can answer to those people, why you care so much.
Yes, I repeat that sea is weaponized. Sea is more powerful weapon than Kalashnikov. We reduced the population of whales from 6 million to 1 million. And oceans produce up to 70% of oxygen. So we basically extinguished 3 billion people on the biomass. If you compare the biomass of whales and biomass of the 3 billion people is equal. And we want to demilitarize the sea, which will save not only a few hundred people here and there, which will save civilization from extinction.
Like simple person who is not very educated regarding this subject and don't have time to sit and study or to read books, what with one way you can say to feel it that the situation is very serious without any books or studies?
Well, the climate change is around us. The weather temperature skyrocketing. Now in Cyprus it's above 40 degrees. It's the same temperature as in Saudi Arabia. So the global warming is a result not of cutting trees, because one tree equals to about 20 kilos of carbon dioxide, and one whale equals to 30 tons of carbon dioxide. So after we kill the 70% of the whales, we have a global warming. That's what it is. Of course, the science was not there back in the day. Now the science confirms what I said. So in simple words, the high temperature here, the floodings and all this mess with the climate is a direct result of killing the whales. And now it is recognized by science and by international organizations. So in simple words, it's like that.
Yeah, I just want to add that like a single person, I cannot stop war conflicts. In which way? It's impossible. But I can help to maintain the environments. And for me, it's very important not to do what is unreachable, but with slow steps to do what I can do. And if I can do something, I do it without thinking. If something I cannot prevent, so that means it's impossible. But every conflict will cease one day. And this is important. What at the end of the day? To find ruined environments, to find Dead Sea around Cyprus.
Yes.
So this is the question. So I call everybody to think in different direction. What I personally can do in this way.
Yeah. Not only to blame government and as the individual, what you are doing personally, at least for your country.
Yes, and not thinking that there are some issues which are more important when you are not involved in this process. So, yeah.
Well, there was a moratorium on whales killing since late 80s. So the governments realized that it's wrong. There is a better convention, which Ulia mentioned. There are different legal instruments which are banning killing of whales. And our point is that there are bannings, legal banning, but nobody is doing anything.
Yeah.
That's the point. So you don't need to convince ordinary people that killing whales is bad. As I mentioned, 99% say it's bad.
Yeah.
But the point, what we're going to do about it? Because the governments had a chance to do something for 35 years, 40 years since.
But they don't.
But they didn't do anything, except creating some commissions here and there.
So only we can do as individuals.
Well, we have another choice. We're a direct action charity,
Mhm.
direct action NGO. We're just not a scientific organization.
Yeah.
That's why we managed to succeed in Iceland, because the guys there were not able to engage crews when they're killing vessels, because crew is people like me and you.
Yeah.
Why should I kill the whales for the guy? No. So, and your work is, your interview was critical as well. It went viral and public, and everybody's listening. So we're on the right way, and we don't have a golden key yet to switch the mentality of the.
But if we unite, we will find that
But we are
golden
consistent
key.
in what we are doing. We know what we are doing, and our message is becoming stronger and stronger.
Ioulia, you've worked with technology, business, medicine, preventive and diplomacy. How can these fields help save the planet, humanity? Do you believe innovation can bring hope?
All these areas are interrelated, actually, and we as human beings, we are just we are part of ecosystem. We cannot exist outside our planet Earth. So either we are going deeper as scientists, or we are going to the orbit. The human body can stay there for very, very limited time, and then you come back to the ground, you have to recover. First of all, I want to mention that a person, as a human being, should be in the center of all other spheres, being politics, economics, diplomacy, and one human life, which thanks to technology we now understand the value of it,
Yes.
should be in epicenter of whatever initiatives or decisions of those who have power should be taken. For me, the priority has definitely the health, and definitely health of a human being depends on healthy environment.
Of course, yes.
I want to put attention of the audience that in nowadays, of course, technology develops, but the development of technology has also side effects. The technology permits us to have the life longer, to understand the process, how do we live from biological point of view, chemical point of view, or medical. On the other side, the technology is killing the environment around us, being urbanization, development of industries, and not responsible towards environments. Such diseases which are fatal are not disappeared. So, and we're exposed. I want to raise the issue that there is no preventive medicine in Cyprus. So the medical system in Cyprus is focusing on already existing cases of certain diseases, and we are curing diseases. Preventive measures are only injections, which we do.
Yes.
And that's it. So the system of state insurance doesn't allow either Chinese medicine or other preventive medicine or Ayurveda or whatever is already in the system of state insurance in Switzerland, for example, in Austria, to be available for us. So it's an issue. And coming back to the environment, I want to say that the environment shows us the following statistics. I was a member of conference called Larnaca Call, which was actually about the European initiative, about the raising interest and funds of European Union towards the cancer prevention here. And vaccination was the only, as I mentioned before, tool of preventive medicine here. So, and it was very interesting statistic, which I want to make public, not only between those who were sitting there, that European Union has very high, like 20% rise in cancer cases. Out of all cancer cases, about 40% can be prevented, which doesn't exist as a system.
Yes.
In our country. So, 2.7 million diagnoses we have every year. 1.3 million deaths we face every year. Every 9 seconds, there is a new case of cancer. Coming back to Cyprus, we have 582.4 new cases per 100,000 population, when average in EU is 571.5. That means higher than European Union average.
Numbers.
It's scary and killing numbers because cancer is changing. There are new mutations in the disease. And people do not understand that lifestyle and responsible attitude towards environment, it can be considered preventive measures. On this way, it's very important to create understanding what is correct lifestyle. To be out of the environment, we cannot. We cannot exist beyond
Yes.
the place where we are. To preserve the environment, to take active measures in our own life, like, for example, sports, and especially sport, which can be lifestyle, is very important this way. But I want to divert it into different direction. Active measures in NGO organizations, when you understand by your mentality that you help to the environment, according to latest researches, give you boost of immunity and protects you from many fatal diseases, being cancer or multiple sclerosis. Lifestyle, when you understand what you eat, when you understand how you behave, when you understand what your thoughts are, is also healing and also preventing.
It's true, yeah.
So I want to mention that the government here does nothing. So we don't have education among mass people. We don't create institutions which can help people to prevent and to change their lifestyle. And on the basis of NGO, we can do that. We can boost the actions of people which are focused not on watching television, going to football stadiums, but on such marches and such activities like, for example, collecting garbage from the beaches, like watching the sea environment, that there is no mazout, heavy oil on its surface, and raising these issues because there are so many cases which are censored. So mazout is everywhere around us, but you cannot raise this topic. So no one will support you. So if you're alone, but
I feel that it's like people are sleeping and
So-
they don't pay attention.
people don't pay attention to the most important issues of their life. And in the end, we have high ratio of oncology, Alzheimer's diseases in Cyprus, and multiple sclerosis, what I said before.
Yes.
So we have to change our life.
Wake
We
up.
have to wake up and to put focus on activity, being political activity, which also very much anti-age. So active approach to life and to society helps to regenerate the boost of immunity and renewal of cells. So we have to read more and we should not be silent. The democracy should be a democracy. It should not be on the papers, it should be here. The killing of whales, for example, which is a new subject for many, many people. The active sun, which we know that sun is active. What do we do to explain to population that you should not stay on the beaches, you should better go in the morning to collect this rubbish,
Yeah.
and during the day stay at home, and this will give you much more self-esteem, self-confidence, and self-valuation for your future life. Also, I want to say that looking back to statistics, it's very much important to support wildlife around the island and to find the common grounds with the population of the northern part of Cyprus. Because, as I mentioned before at the beginning of our conversation, the measures which we take separately do not contribute to the overall statistics of health.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to coordinate our actions, being oxygen quality, which we have, air quality, being water resources, which I said that we need clear water, we don't need desalinated water, being activities which we take, it's very difficult in a sense to gather all the permissions which you have to have in order to create intercommunal activity. We need seminars. We need people not to think about the past, in my opinion, but to find the way to cooperate and coexist today and in the future. We need to educate our kids for healthy lifestyle. And in this case, we will divert the resources from anapseptica, from killing us senses in supermarkets, toward investing these resources in maintaining the environment, supporting institutions which do this job already nowadays, and to support the movement of creating preventive medicine in our islands.
Which is very important.
Which is very important. We need seminars. We need easing of gaining license to specialists of Ayurveda, homeopathic medicine, of Chinese medicine specialists, and this process should start and should be developed. And to summarize, I think it is very important for everyone to sit and think how I can change my life. What measures I can take today, and what is in my competence, and what I should unite with other people to achieve the goals. And here I want to mention that as a person, I focus on personal health and environmental health of our country.
Will you run presidency for 2028?
Yes,
Are you planning?
I will.
And the last question for both of you. How close are we now to the point where ocean life collapses and humanity faces disaster? What is your final message to the world before it's too late?
Well, a good friend of mine told me when I asked him what is going on in the Middle East, he said something will break. I would say that this remaining, say, 1.5 million whales are working every day tirelessly to give us oxygen. What we do in return, keep killing them. So, as I mentioned, we have 7 to 15 years before the whales say, sorry,
We cannot help you anymore.
we can't help you anymore. So we're very, very close to the breaking point. It's not what I say, it's what my friend said. He's a businessman, but he's watching what is going on. So there are many psychopaths around who are waging wars. And I invite all the presidents fight between themselves. Don't involve ordinary
Other people, yeah.
in this mess. And I think that they are sick. This is what Ulia is saying. We need rehabilitation, and marine rehabilitation in close proximity to whales may be more effective. It's more challenging to organize. It's not a private clinic across the road. It's a ship somewhere there. But my opinion is that rehabilitation at sea it may be a breakthrough. We are sea civilization. We are not carbon civilization. So we will find our way to get rid of the cancer. Because what we have now is a global cancer.
It's true. It
But
is.
Ulia say it's still, we need preventive medicine. it can be cured. It's not a death sentence. So we are very close to end this chapter on the Earth civilization, but it doesn't mean that we have to surrender. We never surrender.
Ioulia, and what is your final message to?
First of all, peace. Because on the battlefield, on armed conflicts, really there are no presidents. So it's children which we as women and mothers give birth to. Why should we sentence our kids to that? So first of all, peace. We need peace here. Secondly, we need more clever approach to our life. So we need to everyone not to support producing and selling actually poison food, which I see
Even in schools.
even in schools. And when you see what do people buy trolleys in supermarkets, you see that we with our actions actually stream the money in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
So we need control of the governments, I think, here, over essential issues for good life, and not for crisis or for political war or whatever. Our region here is now trembling. Cyprus is like hostage in those all practically conflicts here. So we want peace and safe future for all the further generations. We need a very good system of health, which I mean, but with very good word, I mean that should be first of all preventive medicine. It's better to foresee and to prevent than to care afterwards.
And not to let them to sell food which is killing.
Of course, because it should
They
be
promote, and media also must be controlled, or any other food which is killing children and
creating
adults.
cancer.
At least adults, they can choose, but still with their choices, children also get example and eat the same junk food. So
Of course, because temptation is around. So children definitely ask, they want. So the government should control the food.
media, food,
Media should not
healthy.
promote the advertising of wrong food. So this is number one.
It's
Number
the same
two,
to advertise drugs
absolutely, or smoke, or for cigarettes
before
or
they do.
alcohol.
At least
Yes.
they stop. Yeah.
It's very important to reinstate Cyprus agriculture, because here, if you see, all the food is imported practically. What we have from the region, we can count with fingers.
Yes.
So we need to support local production, pesticide-free bio production in Cyprus. This is very important. We need to control the pharmacies, which selling here. Actually, all the list which you can find in the pharmacies available. You have to check. They are European origin, the majority of them, but it doesn't mean that they are the best. But there are certain obligations to sell European producer stuff in our pharmacies. When we know that there are very good Swiss or United States pharmaceutical products which can help us, here I cannot find them. For example, I need my personal investigation. The list of very important elements which I would put into preventive medicine list for majority of people, I also couldn't find. I failed to find here because, as far as I understood, there is certain control and certain restrictions to sell what is considered to be good for the health on this level. Secondly, definitely a system of education. So it should be environment oriented. And the last, which is very important point, it's the attitude of our citizens. It should be active. It should not be passive. We should not allow the government to manipulate ourselves as they wish. So, and here everyone should think that he can change, he can contribute to change.
Yes.
And the last and very important point is definitely inhabitants of sea around Cyprus. Whales, dolphins, we should preserve them, because to reinstate it could be impossible.
Thank you, Ioulia. Thank you, Nicolaos, for such an important discussion. I am sure we will meet again. It's not the last one. And once again, thank you for your mission. Thank you that with such a difficult ways you are still trying to protect our lives. I can call it that way.
Thank you very much for supporting and for giving us opportunity to talk to the audience, and thank you very much for raising attention to these subjects. They are very, very much important, and we are grateful that we could talk today.
Our ambassador, and you voted for confidence in what we are doing. You are not alone. We have now a vessel.
Yes.
We have some other supporters, but we need more and more people on board.
We ask all the people, and I hope many people will watch our interview, to unite and to save the oceans.
Yes, and we welcome kids.
Yes, we will do another interview regarding this, to invite children and to know exactly what they can learn from there.
Yes.
And of course, you have a present. From our partner AI Aesthetic Club. You will enjoy it.
Thank you very much. It's a part of preventive medicine.
Yes. And I will see you soon again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm in the Swiss Parliament, the only example of consensus within our society. The other example is ocean. Sperm whales and other whales takes decisions in the port by consensus. And this is the way forward for our society, to get rid of one boss, I rule system and go towards the nature and take example of the Swiss Confederation, which is prosperous because of the system of consensus, which you can see right over there, where the Federal Council meets. So thank you very much, and join us in our mission in the oceans.